Welcome back, guys and girls, to another speed build. It's been ages since I last did one of these kind. I haven't really been inspired lately, but this time I really was. I've been googling lots of images of different houses, and this house is going to turn into some kind of generations home. The concept is that it looks like an ordinary villa of Scandinavian inspiration, more specifically Swedish inspiration, but I probably would put it more Scandinavian. Um, and the idea is that it's a house, but it's sort of divided into three different little apartment sections. With one of the two of them. They're like there's a main house kind of thing in the middle, and a bit of the upstairs, and then there's a smaller apartment on the side with its own entrance, and then on the top floor there's a little apartment on the side. So both the main house and the top floor apartments share entrance, but then I decided to divide that hallway with another set of double doors, to um, make sure that you know where certain parts of the house starts and ends and that kind of thing. So the reason was I've been thinking a lot lately about specific generations houses, and how I think it's a really nice idea that you can have maybe the parents or some other kind of elder relative living with you in this kind of way, so they could still afford to live in a house. It's just that it would be much cheaper and they wouldn't have the entire house for themselves. And I really like that idea. So here you see um, that where the stairway, when it goes up, is just a little, very, very small hallway with two doors, because one of the doors leads into a little TV area and the master bedroom for like the main part of the house, while the other door leads into a smaller apartment on the side. So every living space has their own bedrooms, of toilets and kitchen and living room. So you are able to lock the door. So the idea was that if you want to play with a big family, but you want like the different kind of generations and living there at the same time, it gives the opportunity that you can put the parents in the like side apartments, and maybe you could put, if you have like a kid that just grew up into an adult, that could have the other apartment, or even if a kid that's got married and have kids, that could have in the other apartment. And then the rest of the family that still hasn't grown up just yet could have the main living space. So that's sort of the idea. Or you could just create three different kind of households all living in the same house. Since Sims is that wonderful that you can lock doors, you can really make sure as everything is locked the way you want it to. So yeah, I just use lots of these wooden windows because I wanted to make the build feel really quaint. I did have to do some editing, so there's a bit of a where you're going to see now it's going to jump ahead of time, because I started to create a basement, but I put it on the wrong side, so it ends up getting moved up here instead. The idea was, because I know it's quite common in Sweden that some houses they have a basement, but the entrance to the basement is from the outside. So this is the idea, and I really like the foundation because there's a wallpaper that matches to it, so it feels like it flows. And as there's no staircase up, because the foundation is only on the first level, so you Sims can just step right on it. So yeah, so in this basement, there's a sauna and there's a shower. Really, that's all there is to it. So in the pictures later, I have divided up all the pictures, um, so you can see what parts of the house belongs to what kind of apartment house part. Um, and the main living house and the apartment on the side, they each have their own little garden space. But the one that lives on the top floor of that apartment does not have a garden space, but it's going to end up having a balcony instead, that goes out from the main bedroom on the upstairs. So that's the little, and I was going to later decide to have a little slide and that kind of thing beneath the balcony. So they have their own sort of like green space where they can hang out, but it won't be a private garden in that sense. So yeah. So this is like the main hallway. You see that there's another set of double doors. The laundry room I did not put like inside the main house because I think the apartment on the side has their own laundry in the hallway, but the apartment on the top floor doesn't have any laundry. So the idea was that they both the main house and the apartment on the top floor would use this laundry room and share it. And there's even a garage. And if you've been watching my speed builds before, you probably know by now that I tend not to build garages because I think it's a waste of space. Um, because the Sims can't drive cars. But in this house, I wanted a car because the idea of the layout of the house came from inspired from actually a proper Generations house. Some what do you say? Some drawings, a map, a layout, something I found on Google. I did change it quite a bit, but it had a garage set up and it had the apartment on the side. I think that was the main thing. Um, and I really like that. So I took my inspirations from that layout, and I think the exteriors was also that wooden facade. So yeah, so this is the main kitchen. I really like this, um, just like because how it's in circles, and then you have that such a large dining table in the middle. That's actually my favorite kind of dining table, the one where you can change. So you have it's still white beneath, but you got the wooden texture kept intact on the top. So there's a little entertainment area with the TV. This video I did try to, because I have a tendency that I flutter around in the build. Because as soon as if I found stuff like, ooh, this I want, or that kind of thing, I tend to move a lot all over the place. But this time I've really tried to focus that I'll focus on each room at a time and make sure that's finished before I move on to the next one. Um, but I do end up there's a few little things I'm just start placing somewhere uh, around the house. But otherwise, I try to focus on each room on its own. So yeah, this is it's also that's one thing that's different from this house because every apartment has its own distinct theme. So the main part, this is part of the main living space. It's very white. I wanted to keep a very very light colors, so it's very white and get that clean look. As I said, it's just very inspired from a Scandinavian feel to it, and so that's why I went with. So these are the kids' bedroom. There's an archway that leads into it, so the kids have the one that lives in the main part. They have their own bathroom to share. So I did one kids' bedroom and one teenage bedroom, and I thought that was really fine. I think in the drawings I did find because it was the kids' bedroom because it was tucked away like this, but they also had their own like it's an entertainment area with their own like sofa and TV. But I did not end up putting it in this build. I did try it when I tried to build a house the first time, but it didn't really work out. The layout was really strange. If you have a tendency that you like to try to build real houses that is in Sims. Sometimes the real house's layout doesn't really work in Sims, so you end up changing it a bit. So this is teenage bedroom. I actually end up painting the entire walls that blue color. I think it's called like a marine color of some kind. Um, if you've ever played, this like the house flipper game. If you've ever played that, usually you can get a request to paint rooms in that specific color, and I think that's why I decided to just go crazy on it. And then I just imagined that the teenager living in this room just wanted the walls blue for some reason. I remember myself when I was a teenager, it was very specific. It was very important for me to be able to um, choose my own wallpaper and color and what I wanted because it's part of your personality and it's part of how you want to you know express yourself. Um, so that's why I rarely tend to make the kids' bedroom like just white and that kind of thing because I try to make them a bit more expressive, um, since they usually are. And I put that plump up there. I thought that was really cool, but it did really give the room a very green feel to it, but there's some green accents to it, like the green chair and an armchair and that kind of thing. So it makes sense. So this is like the main bathroom on the downstairs. I'm guessing maybe a guest bathroom of some kind because it's right by the entrance, so it can be used as that too. There's also a bath and a shower, so there's lots of bathrooms in this entire build, so that's good. There's also an extra room downstairs, as you see. You can change that into an extra bedroom if you need to in the main living area, but in this one, I decided to turn it into an office because I felt like it was just suited to be an office. So that's why, and this is why I do this keyboard thing because I think it's a shame that The Sims doesn't have pianos like wall pianos. So that's why I'm trying to put other stuff on this. I end up putting that side table with the glass up front, so you can still see it's a keyboard, but that table gives it a little bit extra bling to it, so it doesn't look like just a boring keyboard. It looks a bit more stylish, and I like that idea. So yeah, so just like there's a computer desk. I really like this office because it has a very clean look to it. And it's I think I had an idea first that I wanted to put like dash dining tables like in an L shape as a reminder of the office that my dad had or my parents had when I was growing up because they put desks together so it made like an entire L shape in a corner of a room. I don't know why. I think they only had one computer, but I'm guessing they had lots of monitors. I don't know why. So that was the inspiration, but I didn't end up doing it in this one because it just ended up too much space. But there's an office anyway, so you can but you can change it into an extra bedroom if need would be. So now we're actually ending up on the side apartment on the side. This is inspired from my own grandmother's apartment she lived in before she moved into elder care. She's not alive anymore, bless her soul. I think she died. She died last year. Yeah, so it was a tough time. But either way, the style of this apartment was inspired from her home that she had. I think the wallpaper was about the same, and the kitchen style was about the same that she had. So this is definitely furnitured and inspired as like and the grandparents probably would be living in this section because it has that style to it. So it's just a very, very small kitchen, and there's just one dining table with two chairs to it. So this is a really small thing, but the idea was that the grandparents were supposed to have their own kind of personal space. But so I'm guessing if the entire family ever, gathers, they would probably be at the main house where there are the most seating areas and that kind of thing. So yeah, this is really very simple. There's no TV at all because um, I was also thinking that because I was imagining that the grandparents had been living in a house before, and then they got retired and then couldn't afford to still live in the house, so they decided to move into uh, their son or daughter or whatever to their house in this like little side apartments. And of course, when you downsize that much, you have to be a bit more aware of what stuff to bring with you. So that's why I was really going to see that soon enough when I start decorating the loft because they have a staircase because their bedroom is on the second floor or the first floor. I don't know how you say it. But that one ends up getting a little bit cluttered for the reason I was thinking that there's some like valuable paintings and some kind of old ancient sofa because I'm thinking they've been living, they've been around for quite a while. They've been collecting things. Maybe some stuff are inherited, and I'm trying to, it's all about okay, what should we keep, what should we not keep. So this is why it looks a little bit cluttered. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I really liked how it turned out because it's like the bedroom also turned into some kind of attic where they just like put some of the valuable stuff that they want to keep. So yeah, so just some shoe storage beneath the staircase, that kind of thing. So I think this bedroom is about done. So now we end up getting to the back to the main house again, where we are working on. Because in that little nook there, there's going to be a little TV area. So there are still two TV areas. I think the main house is actually the only living area in this build that has TVs. Because I didn't put a TV in the grandparents' house, basically for the reason it didn't really fit. You can probably fit a TV, a smaller one, if you rearrange the furniture and that kind of thing. But otherwise, I didn't really put one in. I did put in a bookcase, I think. Yeah, and there's like all like loads of closets. Was a closets space. That was really important because I wanted to put lots of closets everywhere. Um, because otherwise, if you just have one drawer, it doesn't feel like there's enough for like storing stuff. So that's why I really made sure I wanted to put closets all over the place. To make sure there's not storage space, because doesn't only need to be storage space for clothes, because where are you keeping your sheets and towels and all that kind of thing, and just random clutter. So yeah, so there's lots of wardrobes everywhere and drawers. So it feels like there's enough for stuff. So this is the main, the master bedroom on the upstairs. So technically it has its own ensuite, only that the door is on the outside. But that's because that bedroom like has the entire top floor for itself. That belongs to the main house at least. So it works in a way. And I really like the style of the roof, because if you notice, probably going to see it in the picture later, but the roof I made a bit quirky, so I pulled the edges so they're all a bit different length. To give it a bit more, because otherwise the roof would be quite boring. We just give it a bit more different kind of details. So now we're getting into the last apartment, where the only entrance is through the door. So you have to enter through the main entrance of the house, then head upstairs, and then there's the door to the right. Um, yeah, I thought otherwise. I think according to the layout, this part of the house was actually belonging to the main house, so there would be more bedrooms coming on. Um, but I feel like you can only live like maximum 8 sims either way on a lot, so unless you cheated, of course, because you can. So I thought it didn't really make sense to add more bedrooms to the main house, so I decided instead to change this into another apartment area. And this one has a really colorful style to it. I was trying to go for a bit more. Oh, I noticed I never changed the color of those cupboards above the fridge and stove. Oh well, they're there now. Either way, actually, that works in a way. It's a bit quirky. I was thinking a bit more bohemian style. It's a bit more laid back, a bit more mismatched stuff. Um, I'm not sure I really nailed it, but either way. So that's what I was going for. They don't have a TV either, but it's just a very small space. And I was thinking the people who be living here, they don't really watch TV. They might just maybe this is a one part of the family that actually spends a lot of time in the main house, but also has their like separate living space. I don't know. Um, and I also designed this apartment that they would be having a toddler. That was a hiccup. So there are two bedrooms in that um top apartment. So there's one for the parents and one for a toddler. So that was my idea, but you can also easily change that toddler room into something else, like maybe an art room or hobby room or an office room, whatever you wanted. Um, and I think this is one thing that's also very very good about this house is that you can like pretend that you have someone living with you. So maybe you can, I don't know if there's probably a mod or a sheet for something that way you can have a housemate or a flatmate of some kind. Um, so they could have all like the little different nooks and areas, and yeah, because the most important thing about this build was that every household was supposed to have their own like privacy, so their own kitchen, bathroom, and living and sleeping quarters. That was the important part of this. I've actually been thinking of living like this in the future, because I talked to my mom the other day that I actually really like the idea if I in the future I get a house and I have an apartment for her and dad to live in when they're retired, or just, depending. And she liked that idea too, but she's a bit picky of where she wants to live, so I'm not sure if that's going to end up. So this area, it was actually for in the original thought it was very open. It wasn't. I didn't really plan to do anything, just an open green space. But then I, between builds, because I did this build like a few segments here and there, I decided I wanted to make some kind of community garden. So this is a place where all household can uh, access. Is that how you say it? I don't know. It feels weird in my mouth to say that one. So it was, yeah, so it was supposed to be community garden, so which everyone can access to. Yeah, access. That's all. So yeah, I just putting some. The garden is very simple. I'm trying to keep it because I have a tendency to make it very straightforward and like, straight lines and that kind of thing. But I try to be a bit not too cluttered with the garden, and also leave lots of open green space. Because when I'm try to make this house a little bit more realistic. Because when I was thinking of like real houses, I mean, there's not that many houses, especially in Sweden and Scandinavia in general. There's not that many houses that has extravagant outdoor space, because usually the outdoor space is very simple. There might be some shrubbery there, some bushes there, maybe a tree there, but apart from that, there's just a lot of open space. So this is where I wanted to swing for the main house. This is the main house garden plot, and I decided to put one of those big trees that like grows a bit through the fence, and I wanted to make it look like the swing was a bit attached to the tree. Um, so that was my idea, and then I ended up putting a little, just like a bench, just some kind of seating area. I think this is part of the common. Everyone can use that seating area. So I have ordered that in the pictures later on, that the first segment is the main house, and then the second is the it's the bohemian, what kind of space they have. There you see the slide, and then the third is for the grandparents, and what kind of spaces they have, and what belongs to their plot and their apartment, and then the last segment is of what is the, just like photos of the house and the layout and um, the open areas that is access, is, everyone can use. Um, so yeah, that's the idea of it. The grandparents' garden is not really enclosed with a fence, not where they walk in. So I'm thinking that the people who live in the top apartment, that they can use that garden to enter the community garden. Because it's not really a private garden in that way. So here you see the pictures. You see the hallway, and there's so this is just all the main house part of that, except for the laundry room. That's part, and then the laundry room and the garage is part of like also the top floor apartment. And then this is where you get into the main house, and you can see the kitchen and the living room, which we are getting into about here. And then we are heading into, I think this is downstairs. So this is the downstairs bathroom. And then the next we have the office. I really like the office. It has a very clean look to it. And then you have the kids' bathroom. I tried to make it not all, well, like wallpapers on floors is all the same in the bathrooms, but I tried to make the interior a little bit different. And this is like the kids' bedroom, as you saw the teenagers and the kids. And this is the top floor with the little nook of the TV area and the doors into the bathroom and the master bedroom on the top floor. You see the ensuite that has this, only, I think it was only a bathtub. Yes, this is the main. I can also let you know that like this house is play tested, so everything should work. The only thing I'm not sure, actually forgot to test, is the boxing thing in the teenage bedroom, but I think she worked fine. And now we are entering into the bohemian, or well, the colorful part of the house. You saw the main living room and kitchen, the bathroom, and this is the toddler room. It's very simple. And then you see the main bedroom with the door out to the balcony at the back. And this is like, this was supposed to belong to them, like the little, greenery and with the slide. And we are entering now the grandparents' quarters. So yeah, they can pass through. I wasn't sure if that chair was in the way, but they can pass through to the kitchen, so that's fine. And then with like the bathroom, and we are heading into the main garden, which is here. This is what that looks like. And now is all about the open space in the community, what everyone can use. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. This was actually really a fun build to do. I know I've been working on it for a few weeks, so and if it's a build I'm really proud of because I like the concept of it. So I hope I'll see you next time for next speed build. Don't know when that's going to happen, but either way, I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!